One second, Maria A. Thomas. 1 second, please. Okay, hi. I am between classes. Again, congratulations. The two of you at the age of 32 are entering medical school in Murcia after 3 years of studying in the Center of Education of Adults and passing the selectivity or the college entrance exam here in Murcia. They call it the PAU, Prueba de Acceso a la Universidad. It's like selectivity for adults. And the two of you are going to study medicine. I know you have the same dreams as young kids who are 17, maybe in Maristas or in Alfonso X. You're competing with them to get into med school, but you're 10 years older. And this has been a really good idea, I think, from the Partido Popular in Murcia, because a group of people who don't have jobs, like you two, now are going to have jobs as doctors, and you're going to pay taxes, and that means everyone else is going to pay less in tax. And that's good. That's a great way to get out of a crisis. I mean, of course, we have to invest money in the school for the kids in Cascales and things like Capuchinos and Alfonso X. But the big massa of people, the big group of people without jobs are the adults between 25 and 40. And if we can find a way to get them into work, better. Now, of course, the fact that you're going to med school means that some young kid who's 17 is not going to medical school, but that kid's not going to be unemployed. He's going to work anyway. So at the end, what we get from the Partido Popular is that two people are working instead of one. And that's good, okay? That 17-year-old kid who you pushed out of med school because you did better on the exam, he'll study law or something else, or she will study to be an accountant or an economist or an engineer or go to medical school elsewhere. At the end, it's a good idea because more people are going to be working. I wish that more people understood the kind of people who go to the Center of Education of Adults, because a lot of people think they're all old people with canes who want classes in Skype to talk to their grandchildren, or they want to learn how to open an email. Or maybe they're foreigners who want free classes in Spanish, and that's only like 2 or 3% of all the students in Murcia who go to the Center of Education of Adults. 97 or 98% are people between 22 and 45 who want to go back to the university. Some simply want to finish high school and get a job in Mercadona, and that's digno de elogio. That's praiseworthy. I don't look down my shoulder at people who work in McDonald's, but the majority of you want to go to college, university, ukamumu. You want to study law, medicine, and maybe you want to be a teacher, okay? For example, did you know that two of the teachers in Los Maristas in Murcia started college when they were 31 years old, okay? I mean, when you talk to adults who think that we should close the Thea in Murcia, that we should have fewer centers of education of adultos, and you tell them that your daughter, who's 16, her math teacher in Maristas went to the Thea, they're very surprised because they think the only people who go to the Thea or Center of Education of Adults are old people. It's very surprising for them when they discover that a teacher working in one of the best schools in Murcia, Maristas, came from the Center of Education of Adults, entered university at the age of 28 or 31, maybe had a baby, decided to go back to school later and became a teacher in one of the best schools in Murcia. Okay, also the English level for the teachers in the Thea is much better than in another school. For example, most teachers in a Center of Education of Adults in Murcia have a C1 in English. That's advanced. Whereas most teachers, for example, in Capuchinos or Colegio Jesus Maria have a B1. That's a fact. Most students finishing Maristas in Segundo de Batch have a B1 level of English. There are some who have B2, C1, and C2, but most have a B1. Most students finishing the Center of Education of Adults are looking at a C1 or a B2. The reason is they're adults, they're more mature, they're more focused, and they know English is really important. So again, who do we give the credit to? Well, first of all, you two for studying a lot, but also the Partido Popular. They invested money in opening more centers of education of adults with bigger schedules, more plazas, more seats, and most importantly, better English and better math than any other school in Murcia. And they took the best teachers from other centers and put them there because you want your best teachers teaching the people who are unemployed to become employable. That's the big difference from A to Z. Okay, if you have good teachers in Maristas or in Alfonso X, that's also pretty important, but those kids are going to get jobs anyway, and good jobs. But when you have these adults who haven't worked for years and you want to convert them in workers and taxpayers, you need your best teachers, English, math, science, physics, and chemistry. Okay? So again, I wish more people in Murcia knew that most students in the Center of Education of Adults were like you guys, between 22 and 25, and you want to go to college. Because people have a really stupid idea that most of the people in the center of education are old people touching their nose, having classes in psychotherapy or physical therapy or making things with plastilina. And they don't understand that it's college entrance preparation. It's for people who want to go back to work, start paying taxes, and go to college. And I think if they understood that, they'd appreciate the Partido Popular more.